Good morning, Gathering family. I hope y'all are doing great. Today we're going to discuss skincare. Not really. Not really. I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about choosing joy today. And I can't lie, it's been tough to choose joy these few days. It's First of all, we're in Hensley, Arkansas. And we were in Panama City for about 7 months, and we liked it there. We liked the church there. We liked the area. It's just the hours that Kevin was working it was horrible. It was really, really bad. And so through all that, a boss of his called him from Pine Bluff, and he got in contact with him and talked to him about actually coming to work over there. It's in quality control instead of production. So Kevin actually gets home like at normal time now. It's so wonderful. So I'm so thankful. But we had looked for a place, and we felt like, okay, this is a great area. We come driving up, and we walk through, and they had not cleaned this house, and it had been vacant for about a year. And when I tell you, I had to choose joy. That was tough. But there are little things that God was just giving me assurance about. I had said, okay, if it's kind of back up in the woods, I hope I can meet my neighbor soon, because I'm just going to kind of be nervous about it. Well, sure enough, within 2 hours, some of my neighbors had walked over and introduced themselves, and so I was thankful for that. And then just little things. There's a beautiful rose bush on the side of our drive there. That's a coral color. That's just the most beautiful roses. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to put a few of those in a vase, and just those. And then the next morning we woke up, and there was a big rabbit in the backyard. Just little things that I find comfort in. And that, to me, seeing lightning bugs again in my backyard. I mean, that's so cool. And God knows my heart, and He knows that I've always loved nature. When we were kids, we played outside so much. So I've always loved nature. But there have been days I've had to make a conscious effort to choose joy. I mean, it's been tough. I'm not going to lie. There was one point I had cried just about all day long, and I opened the bottom of the kitchen cabinets, and what I saw, I just busted out in tears, and I told Kevin, I want my mama. She's so good at cleaning. And so I just had to choose joy. But let me read y'all Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Paul writes. And it goes on in verse 6. He says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer, petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I love that. The days that followed, they've been more trying. It is just the hundreds of boxes, and part of that is the fact that we lived so simple for 7 months. We only had a few things, that we were living in the apartment. And then when I got here, I have all these boxes, and it's like, I don't even need that. I don't need that. And so I've kind of started a pile, and that kind of helped me. In fact, it was so funny. It got so bad for a couple of days that Shane actually called Sydney and said, it's pretty dark in Arkansas. You might ought to plan a trip. So meanwhile, our air goes out here, and I make a phone call. Dustin's got window units. And Sydney and Nick come surprise us and come over. And so, thank God that my kids have been so sweet. And they, meanwhile, the battery in my car goes dead. And then, the movers didn't put our bed together correctly. They didn't screw in the slats, and I rolled over to kiss Kevin goodnight one night, and our bed just goes. Of course, we joked and said we ate too many M&Ms during quarantine. But for real. Walmart just makes it so easy, that pickup. But anyway, amongst the craziness of quarantine, have y'all ever had snacks so much? How many of y'all are staying in your pajamas all day? You have your daytime pajamas and your nighttime pajamas. Kids' craziness. I mean, it's crazy that they're not having school right now. It's crazy. The song that was on my mind all day yesterday was For Him, The Basics of Life. I even shared it. We need to get back to the basics of life. A heart that is pure and a love that is blind, a faith that is fervently grounded in Christ, the hope that endures for all time. These are the basics. We need to get back to the basics of life. And sometimes He uses a situation just to get our attention. Hello. I'm going to take your jobs away. Let you stay home for a little while. Okay? We're not in control. That's what's been hard. I mean, thankfully, Kevin's been able to work, but I hope it teaches us a lesson that God needs our attention sometimes. And hopefully it draws us closer to Him. That's what I hope all this has drawn people closer to Him. That if they weren't serving somewhere, I hope that they think, oh, well, I've got to get to church and start serving and start being a part of something. You know, we've got to rejoice in the Lord always. And that's not easy sometimes. It hadn't been easy for me, I'm not going to lie, these last few weeks. It's been pretty tough. But He deserves the glory. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Y'all have a great day. I hope you're doing good. Bye.